Welcome back to our channel, where we honor the unforgettable lives of those who left a lasting legacy. Today, we pay tribute to American female celebrities who battled cancer with incredible strength but left us too soon. Their stories of resilience, talent, and courage continue to inspire, reminding us of the mark they left on the world. Andrea Evans, a beloved actress known for her unforgettable roles in daytime television, left an indelible mark on the soap opera world before her tragic passing on July 9, 2023, at the age of 66. She fought a long battle with breast cancer, spending her final days in Pasadena, California, surrounded by her loved ones. Her death was a devastating loss to the entertainment industry and to the countless fans who had followed her career for decades. Andrea was more than just an actress. She was a presence, an icon who brought depth and charisma to every character she portrayed. Born on June 18, 1957, in Aurora, Illinois, she showed promise from an early age, participating in beauty pageants and local theater before pursuing her passion in Hollywood. Her big break came when she was cast as Tina Lord on One Life to Live, a role that made her a household name. She later graced other popular soaps, including The Young and the Restless, The Bold and the Beautiful, and Passions, cementing her legacy in the world of daytime drama. But Andrea's life took a dark turn when a terrifying stalker incident forced her to step away from the spotlight in 1990. The man, obsessed and dangerous, broke into the ABC studios in New York, leaving her in a constant state of fear. The trauma of that experience changed her forever, and she spent nearly a decade out of the public eye, trying to regain a sense of normalcy. Despite this, Andrea eventually returned to the screen, proving her resilience and love for acting over the years. She continued to captivate audiences, earning daytime Emmy nominations and gaining a reputation as a true soap opera legend. But behind the bright lights of Hollywood, Andrea faced another battle, one far more cruel and relentless. In her final years, she fought against breast cancer, a disease that slowly took its toll on her body but never on her spirit. Even as she endured the grueling treatments, she remained strong for her family, especially her husband, Steve, and their daughter, Kylie. She was known for her kindness, her warmth, and her unwavering dedication to animal rescue causes and charity work. But cancer is unforgiving, and despite her strength, she lost her battle, leaving behind a legacy of unforgettable performances and a career filled with passion and perseverance. Andrea Evans wasn't just a soap star, she was a fighter, a survivor, and a woman who gave everything to the roles she played and the people she loved. Her death is a heartbreaking reminder of how fragile life can be, and the world of television will never be the same without her. Diana Hyland was a talented actress who captivated audiences with her grace, charm, and incredible performances. But behind the bright lights and the cameras, her life was marked by a tragic battle that ended far too soon. Born Diane Jenner on January 25, 1936, in Cleveland Heights, Ohio, Diana pursued acting with passion from a young age, making her debut at just 19. She appeared in numerous television shows and films, making a name for herself with roles in Peyton Place, The Twilight Zone, and The Boy in the Plastic Bubble. It was during the filming of that TV movie in 1976 that she met and fell deeply in love with John Travolta, despite their 18-year age gap. Their love was undeniable, and for Travolta, it was the kind of connection he had never felt before. But just as her career was thriving, and her personal life was filled with hope, everything changed. In 1975, Diana was diagnosed with breast cancer. She underwent a mastectomy and chemotherapy, hoping to beat the disease, but the cancer was relentless. For 2 years, she fought bravely, believing there was still a chance, still time to live the life she had dreamed of. But in the final weeks of her life, reality set in. Her body was losing the fight. In the midst of filming Saturday Night Fever, Travolta received the heartbreaking news that Diana's condition had worsened. He rushed back to Los Angeles to be with her, refusing to leave her side. On March 27, 1977, at just 41 years old, Diana Hyland took her last breath, dying in Travolta's arms. The man who had loved her so deeply who had planned a future with her, felt her life slip away. He later said, "I felt the breath go out of her. It was a loss that devastated him, a love story that ended too soon." At her memorial, Travolta wore the white suit they had bought together for their planned trip to Rio, a trip that would never happen. Diana Hyland was more than an actress. She was a woman full of life, love, and talent, taken too soon by a cruel disease. Her legacy lives on in the roles she played, the love she gave, and the memories she left behind. Even in her final days, she told Travolta, "I'm going now, but you are going to have this work." And he did, carrying her love and her memory with him always. Though she is gone, Diana Hyland's story remains one of talent, strength, and a love that was never forgotten. Gilda Radner was a shining light in the world of comedy, bringing laughter to millions with her unforgettable performances on Saturday Night Live. But behind her joyful persona was a heartbreaking battle that would ultimately take her life. Born on June 28, 1946, in Detroit, Michigan, she was drawn to the stage from an early age, and her talent led her to become one of the original cast members of SNL in 1975, where she created iconic characters like Roseanne, Rosenadana, and Emily Latella. She won an Emmy, took her comedy to Broadway, and starred in movies, but nothing compared to the love she found with John Wilder, her husband and closest companion. Their happiness, however, was soon overshadowed by a cruel and devastating illness. In 1985, Gilda began experiencing severe fatigue and mysterious pains, but doctors dismissed her symptoms for nearly a year, misdiagnosing her with everything from Epstein-Barr virus to stress. It wasn't until October 1986 that the truth was revealed. She had stage 4 ovarian cancer. By then, the disease had already spread, forcing her to undergo immediate surgery, including a hysterectomy, followed by grueling rounds of chemotherapy and radiation. She fought with incredible strength, clinging to hope even as the treatments drained her body and spirit. For a time, she went into remission and even found the strength to write her memoir, It's Always Something, detailing her battle with brutal honesty and humor. But cancer is relentless, and in 1988, it returned with a vengeance. Despite the pain, she remained resilient, holding on to June and the love of those around her. On May 17, 1989, she entered Cedars-Sinai Medical Center for a routine CAT scan, but was sedated and never regained consciousness. 3 days later, on May 20, 1989, Gilda Radner passed away at just 42 years old, leaving behind a legacy that still inspires comedians today. Her death was a wake-up call for many, sparking increased awareness of ovarian cancer and leading John Wilder to dedicate himself to early detection advocacy. Though she is gone, the joy she brought to the world lives on, and her story remains a heartbreaking reminder of how fleeting life can be. Natalie Cole, the legendary American singer and daughter of Nat King Cole, lived a life of music, triumph, and heartbreak. But her final years were marked by a devastating battle with illness that ultimately took her life. Born into music royalty on February 6, 1950, she grew up surrounded by jazz, soul, and blues. And despite the immense pressure of living in her father's shadow, she carved out her own path in the music world. Her career took off in the 1970s with hits like This Will Be, and Everlasting Love, and Inseparable, earning her multiple Grammy Awards and establishing her as a powerhouse in R&B and pop. But beneath the glitz and glamour, Natalie struggled with demons. Her battle with drug addiction nearly destroyed her, leading to near-fatal moments, including an overdose and a shocking incident where she refused to leave a burning building. She fought her way back, reclaiming her life and career, and in 1991, she reached her peak with Unforgettable. With Love, a tribute to her father that brought her back to the top of the charts. But her years of drug use had already taken a silent toll on her body. In 2008, she was diagnosed with hepatitis C, a disease she later admitted was the result of past intravenous drug use. The condition led to severe kidney failure, forcing her to undergo dialysis 3 times a week while still trying to maintain her career. In 2009, after a desperate public plea, she received a kidney transplant, but the battle was far from over. Complications continued to mount, and by late 2015, her health had deteriorated rapidly. She canceled performances, unable to fight the exhaustion and pain any longer. On December 31, 2015, as the world celebrated the arrival of a new year, Natalie Cole took her last breath at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles. The official cause was congestive heart failure, brought on by idiopathic pulmonary arterial hypertension, a condition linked to her kidney transplant. She was only 65. Her death sent shockwaves through the music industry, leaving behind a legacy of resilience, talent, and a voice that had touched millions. At her funeral, music icons like Stevie Wonder, Smokey Robinson, and Lionel Richie mourned her passing, honoring a woman who had spent her life turning pain into music. Natalie Cole was more than just the daughter of a legend. She was a legend in her own right. A woman who fought against the odds and left behind a voice that will remain, as she once sang, unforgettable. Jane Greer, a name synonymous with classic Hollywood film noir, lived a life filled with glamour, talent, and an undeniable air of mystery. But behind the enchanting screen presence lay a story of control, struggle, and ultimately resilience. Born Betta Jane Greer on September 9, 1924, she faced adversity from an early age when a facial palsy at just 15 left her with partial paralysis. Through sheer determination, she recovered, developing an enigmatic expression that would become her signature on screen, earning her the title of the Woman with the Mona Lisa Smile. Her rise to stardom began when billionaire Howard Hughes, known for his iron grip over the careers of young actresses, spotted her in a Life magazine photo and whisked her away to Hollywood. But what should have been a golden opportunity soon turned into a cage as Hughes, obsessed with Jane, restricted her career and personal life, dictating her every move. She managed to break free, securing roles at RKO, and it was in 1947 that she delivered her most iconic performance in Out of the Past alongside Robert Mitchum, cementing her place in cinema history. Yet, just as she reached her peak, Hughes re-entered her life, purchasing RKO and ensuring she struggled to find roles, effectively stalling her career. Despite this, she fought on, appearing in notable films like They Won't Believe Me, The Big Steal, and later, Against All Odds. On television, she continued to make her mark with roles in Alfred Hitchcock Presents, Murder, She Wrote, and Twin Peaks. But beyond the silver screen, her personal life was a series of highs and lows, 2 marriages, 3 sons, and a long partnership with Frank London. As the years passed, Jane Greer remained a respected figure, though she never received the accolades she truly deserved. Her final years were spent away from the limelight, battling cancer, the disease that ultimately took her life on August 24, 2001, just weeks before her 77th birthday. The once glamorous actress who captivated audiences with her sultry yet mysterious presence quietly faded away, leaving behind a legacy of strength and perseverance in an industry that sought to control her. Even in death, Jane Greer remains a haunting figure of Hollywood's golden era, a woman who endured, fought, and carved her name into film history despite the odds stacked against her. Rue McClanahan, the beloved American actress known for her unforgettable portrayal of the flirtatious and spirited Blanche Devereaux on The Golden Girls, passed away on June 3, 2010, at the age of 76 after suffering a massive stroke. Her final months were marked by a series of health battles. She had undergone heart bypass surgery in November 2009 and, while recovering, suffered a minor stroke in January 2010. Though she initially seemed to regain her strength, the damage was already done. Doctors had placed her on a powerful anticoagulant to prevent further strokes, but tragically, her body was already weakened. She suffered another stroke in the early hours of June 3rd, and despite efforts to save her, she passed away peacefully in her hospital bed, surrounded by family. Her life was one of immense talent, warmth, and humor, but also of quiet struggles. Born Eddie Rue McClanahan in Hildon, Oklahoma, on February 21, 1934, she grew up moving from place to place due to her father's work. Even as a child, she displayed a natural gift for performing. When winning oration contests and starring in school plays before earning a theater degree from the University of Tulsa. She first made her mark on stage, honing her craft before stepping into the world of television, where she became a household name. She won hearts as Vivian Harmon on Maude and Aunt Fran on Mama's Family, but it was the Golden Girls that cemented her legacy. As Blanche Devereaux, she redefined perceptions of older women on TV, sexy, confident, and full of life, a role that earned her an Emmy Award in 1987. But behind the glamour, Rue faced personal hardships, including multiple marriages and a battle with breast cancer in 1997, which she fought with remarkable resilience. She became an advocate for aging gracefully, speaking to cancer support groups and embracing life's ups and downs with humor and grace. Yet, in her final years, her health declined. The culmination of heart disease, a history of smoking, and the risks that came with aging made her vulnerable. She had spent her last months recovering, trying to regain her strength, but fate had other plans. The world lost a remarkable woman that day, one who made us laugh, who brought joy into countless homes, and who reminded us that life, at any stage, is worth living to the fullest. Betty White, her dear friend and Golden Girls co-star, mourned her loss, calling her a treasure, and the industry felt the weight of her passing. No funeral service was held, per her family's wishes, but the outpouring of love from fans across the world spoke volumes. Rue McClanahan left behind a legacy of laughter, charm, and an indelible mark on television history. And while she may be gone, her light still shines in every rerun, every memory, and every laugh she gave to the world. Florence Halop, a beloved actress known for her sharp wit and unforgettable raspy voice, spent her final days battling the same cruel disease that had taken her predecessor. Born on January 23, 1923, in Jamaica, New York, she grew up in a family deeply rooted in entertainment, with her mother a dancer and her brother Billy Halop an established actor. From an early age, Florence had a voice that stood out, and by just 7 years old, she was already a star on the radio. Her early roles on shows like Duffy's Tavern and The Jimmy Durante Show made her a household name in radio before she seamlessly transitioned to television in the 1950s. She became a familiar face through guest appearances on popular series like Barney Miller and St. Elsewhere. But it was her role as the sharp-tongued bailiff Florence Kleiner on Night Court that made her a fan favorite. Sadly, her time on the show was cut short by the very illness that had taken Selma Diamond, the actress she had replaced. Florence, a lifelong smoker, was diagnosed with lung cancer just months into her tenure on Night Court. As her health declined, she fought bravely, but the disease spread aggressively. She spent her final days in Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, surrounded by loved ones, before passing away on July 15, 1986, at the age of 63. Her death left a deep void, not just in the show, but in the hearts of those who had come to love her sharp humor and endearing presence. Though she was taken too soon, her legacy lives on through the unforgettable characters she brought to life and the laughter she shared with the world. Diahann Carroll, a trailblazing actress and singer who shattered racial barriers and redefined representation in Hollywood, passed away on October 4, 2019, at the age of 84 in her West Hollywood home. The cause was complications from breast cancer, a disease she had battled courageously since the 1990s. Though she had survived it once and became an outspoken advocate for awareness and early detection, the relentless illness ultimately took her life. In her final days, surrounded by those who loved her, Carroll's health deteriorated as she fought not just cancer but also dementia, which had slowly crept in during her last years. Despite her struggles, she remained a dignified force, never allowing her ailments to overshadow the legacy she had built. Born Carol Diane Johnson on July 17, 1935, in the Bronx, New York, she grew up in Harlem, where her talent was nurtured from a young age. Her parents, a subway conductor and a nurse, ensured she received the best opportunities, enrolling her in dance, singing, and modeling classes, unknowingly paving the way for her groundbreaking career. By 15, she was already modeling for Ebony magazine, and soon after, she won a talent contest that launched her into the entertainment world. Her Broadway debut in House of Flowers was just the beginning, leading her to become the first Black woman to win a Tony Award for No Strings in 1962. Carroll was a pioneer in every sense, but it was Julia that cemented her as a television icon, making her the first Black woman to lead a primetime network series in a role that wasn't a stereotype. She captivated audiences with her poise, grace, and sheer talent, later commanding the screen as the fierce Dominique Devereaux on Dynasty, breaking yet another barrier as one of the first Black women to play a wealthy, powerful character on television. Her film credits, including Carmen Jones, Porgy and Bess, and Claudine, further showcased her range, earning her an Academy Award nomination. But beyond the fame, Carroll's life was filled with personal trials, 4 marriages, a widely publicized affair with Sidney Poitier, and the tragic loss of her 3rd husband, Robert DeLeon, in a car accident. Yet, she persevered, using her influence to uplift others, particularly through her work with women in rehabilitation programs. Even as illness took hold, she remained a beacon of strength, her presence never fading from the hearts of those who admired her. When she passed, the world didn't just lose a legendary actress. It lost a pioneer, a fighter, and a woman who refused to let society define her. Her journey was one of resilience, talent, and undeniable impact. And though she is gone, her legacy remains, forever etched in the history of entertainment. Their time was brief, but their impact is eternal. Though they are no longer with us, their legacy continues to shine. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as we keep their memories alive.